Today we are going to learn about cognitive remediation and how it relates to finding and maintaining employment for people living with schizophrenia. Loki is a 21-year-old diagnosed with schizophrenia who is currently living at home with his parents. Loki would like to attain a job in the community so that he can afford to pay rent and live independently. As community occupational therapists, our first step will be to interview Loki, during which we will collect relevant background information, such as his previous education, employment experience, learning styles, and his goals. We will work on goal setting with Loki. Understanding his goals will also help us to ensure that he is intrinsically motivated by making sure that the rehabilitation tasks that he is completing are personally relevant to him and will enable him to feel competent and independent. We will then administer cognitive assessments to get an idea of Loki's baseline level of cognitive functioning and how these relate to potential tasks and activities related to his goals. While outlining his background information, Loki explains that he used to work in a cafe, but began to find it difficult to remember orders and maintain his attention on the task at hand. Loki said that although he enjoyed the atmosphere of the cafe, he found it increasingly challenging to work in.
Based on Loki's initial assessments and interview, we have decided to use a hybrid cognitive remediation program with him. This will first involve a restorative component, during which he will participate in sessions involving cognitive drills and practice exercises, either on the computer or one-to-one with a therapist. There will also be a verbal session following the restorative phase. It is important to note that as the OTs, we will need to use various strategies throughout the program. Errorless learning minimizes the chances of errors by introducing more difficult levels only when easier levels are mastered. Shaping involves breaking down goals into smaller, more achievable goals. Prompting will be used by making suggestions about necessary behaviors or steps when needed, without giving the complete answers. With input from Loki, we have identified these areas as being of concern: verbal learning and memory, and attention. Our next step will be to identify a number of drill and practice exercises that target Loki's areas of concern. These will be done using a computer program. The following is a sample session Loki would participate in.
Happy Neuron is one of the many programs available online with exercises for cognitive remediation. Areas of cognition include executive functions, verbal memory, visual memory, spatial memory, visual and spatial abilities, visual attention, processing speed, and auditory memory. Considering Loki's goal to work in a cafe, we decided to use the exercise restaurant to work on his verbal and visual memory, as this is most closely aligned with the industry that he would like to work in. In this example, there are just 2 diners. You will review the orders of each diner. There are 2 items in each menu order, a main course and a drink. Start by memorizing the orders for each of the diners. Later, after some intentional distractions, you will serve their food as ordered. The dishes will now appear one by one. Get ready to serve them to the diners. First, serve all dishes and all drinks. Note, only 1 dish of each kind can be served to 1 diner. The seating arrangements of the diners have not changed since the orders were placed. As we can see, therapists have the ability to adjust the difficulty of these exercises in basic settings and advanced settings. In advanced settings, we can choose the number of guests, number of dishes, time for memorization, number of fake menu orders, seating during recall, and interference task. Let's try it out. And now to distract your attention, let's associate the various foods with their calorie content per 100 gram serving. This performance is excellent. It will allow the user to reach the next level.
Loki has been making significant gains across each of the cognitive exercises we've been working on. Now we want to ensure that these gains can be generalized to various contexts that are relevant to Loki's goals. As OTs, we facilitate verbal sessions, also known as bridging sessions. These sessions focus on strategy coaching for the purpose of transferring learned cognitive skills to real-life situations. These sessions take place in a group setting, during which the group will participate in games that promote the use of the same skills, followed by an open discussion about how those skills will be transferred to vocational settings. In Loki's case, we will get menus from cafes that he is interested in applying to, as well as utilize group members to simulate a busy cafe atmosphere.
To summarize, cognitive remediation is a valuable psychosocial rehab skill for occupational therapists. It targets cognitive deficits resulting from mental illness, it considers individuals' context and goals, and it contributes to improvement of level of function in meaningful activities, which in turn leads to better occupational engagement and life satisfaction.